The General Assembly will likely adjourn in a couple of weeks without adding more charter schools and allowing more school choice, reforming annexation laws, protecting private property from eminent domain abuse, defending the sanctity of life by passing the Unborn Victims of Violence Act, allowing citizens to vote on the traditional marriage constitutional amendment, and passing tax cuts to stimulate the economy.
People respond to the truth, and that's what we're telling them, because they don't like the fact that a third of our kids don't graduate from high school. We don't fund our roads even though we increase our spending by 9.5%. We've got the highest taxes of any state in the Southeast. In fact, you know, we've lost 75,000 jobs just to our 3 neighboring states in the last 5 years. That's horrible. They've taken with them $6 billion of capital investment. Now, why did that happen? Well, Governor Mark Sanford answered the question for me at one of our meetings in Charlotte. He said, the greatest marketing tool we have in South Carolina are North Carolina's high tax rates.
The top 1% of taxpayers pay 39% of all taxes. That's $87,000 and above. If you make that much, you're in the top 1%. The top 5% of taxpayers pay 60% of all taxpayers. The top 10% pay 70%, and the top 40% pay 99% of all taxes. So when they start saying we're going to raise Social Security taxes and raise the capital gains tax rate, that affects 100 million people who own stock and are trying to make a little money, and so they can do better for the family. That's 100 million people. Now, all those 100 million people aren't rich.
New regulations and energy taxes pose a severe threat to our economic prosperity. How many of you at this rally think that the government's effort to change the climate might just affect your pocketbook? I thought so.
You know, I was walking through the legislative building earlier today, and I saw all of you in your T-shirts, Take Back Our State T-shirts. And I watched the legislators, and I watched a lot of their staff, and they were a little nervous. Did you pick that up today? Were some of these guys a little nervous to see you? I think they were. They were thinking, look, we're the experts. We're the ones who know how to tax and spend. We're really experts at that. You guys go back home, do whatever it is you do at your place. For goodness sakes, please don't come to the Capitol and bother us. Please don't start looking over our shoulder. But I've got news for them. We're going to bother them. We're going to take back this state with your help.
They need to be reminded of a few simple facts. It's your money, not theirs. You earned it, not them. You have a right to keep more of your money. You know, North Carolina has one of the highest tax rates or highest tax structures in the nation, and the highest in the Southeast. They keep telling us we can't reduce taxes because we've got to spend all this money. Well, the reality is, and I'm going to borrow a phrase, yes, we can.
We will rock you. We will rock you.
We need to get outside the belt line here and find out the impact of taxes, the impact of crime, the impact of the lack of jobs. It is up to us as elected officials to find out what the problems are, and then with you, work with solutions. That is our job. We're public servants, not the other way around.
Do you realize that every private school student and every homeschool student has to yearly take a nationally normed test, and it has to be opened for inspection by the governor at home? Y'all know that? You know it. But not public school students. We don't dare give them nationally normed tests because we're afraid of the results. And as long as we refuse to measure ourselves against the nation and the world, we will get mediocrity.
Just how serious are you about rebuilding the conservative movement, one individual at a time? How committed are you to fiscal restraint on taxes and spending? How important is it to you to protect our families from the excesses of cultural relativism? How determined are you to do something about public education reform? How prepared are you to fight for the property rights of the citizens of North Carolina? And just how important is it to you to have transparency in our electoral and governmental processes from the courthouse to the State House?
The last time I checked, there were 25 separate taxes that we pay in North Carolina. And that doesn't include the fees that we pay on so many things. You know, if you get a fishing license, you pay a fee. Newborn babies, screening test, you pay a fee. There's even fees on coffins. You name it. They are getting our money every way they can. And I'm going to tell you, it makes me kind of mad. Now, I wouldn't be mad if I felt like I was getting my money's worth for all of these taxes that I pay.
I know many of you won't be voting Libertarian, but I hope that you respect the right of me and my fellow Libertarians to have our choice on the ballot. There are 76 races in the General Assembly that have either only a Republican or only a Democrat. We need more choice in North Carolina, not fewer choices.